years ago, in the busy city of Abuja, where everybody was always rushing to somewhere important, even if the place was just a supermarket, there lived a girl named Beverly who believed strongly in three things: peace, luxury, and closure. Now, closure for Beverly did not just apply to heartbreaks or friendship drama. It applied to plates, cups, bottle caps, phone cases, gas knobs, curtains, toothpaste, and especially microwaves. In her world, closure showed discipline, and discipline showed seriousness, and seriousness showed that a man could be trusted with the future. Beverly grew up in a house where everything had a reason and nothing was random. Her mother labeled containers, her father labeled charger cords, and her siblings labeled their names on bread slices because nobody trusted anybody. Their microwave rule started during Beverly's childhood when her father told her never to open anything before it finished counting because life needed completion, and incomplete things brought spiritual confusion. Beverly believed it fully because children believe anything that is repeated with seriousness. Now, fast forward to adulthood. Beverly was grown, fine, stylish, loyal, hardworking, dramatic, and slightly controlling, which she believed was just high standards. She met Yinka at a friend's birthday dinner and fell in love with his calmness, as calm people attract dramatic people the way sugar attracts ants. Yinka was patient and always smiling, even when there was nothing to smile about. Beverly liked that because she believed her future husband must have a soft heart and thick skin. Their relationship was not bad in the first year. They laughed, ate shawarma, held hands, fought small, hugged again, and made matching playlists. However, in the second year, they started noticing small strange differences like toothpaste squeezing location, shower time, and how Beverly could not sleep if the cupboard doors were slightly open, while Yinka could sleep in a war zone. Yet, they continued loving each other stubbornly because love makes people behave as if their common sense is on break. One sunny Saturday afternoon, Beverly went to Yinka's house to spend the weekend. She saw that he had stew in his freezer, so she brought it out to thaw it on the counter. She then took out some rice to boil. As she was washing the rice in the sink, she thought of the time it would take for the stew to defrost. So she turned to Yinka and said, "Yinka, please help me warm that stew small in the microwave, let it melt." Yinka nodded, obeying like a good boyfriend. He carried the stew bowl and carefully placed it into the microwave, pressed 30 seconds and waited. Beverly continued washing the rice and singing small gospel song under her breath when she heard the microwave beep once. Her spirit felt something was wrong because the microwave never beeps once when it hits zero. It beeps twice, sometimes thrice, depending on its mood. She slowly turned like a detective in a crime movie. Yinka stood there already holding the bowl with a napkin, smiling satisfied and walking towards her. Beverly blinked. "You removed it already?" Yinka shrugged casually. "Yes, it was hot." Beverly stared at the microwave, then stared at Yinka, then stared at the bowl, then stared back at the microwave because numbers tell the truth. She walked closer, saw 29 blinking on the screen and felt her chest tighten. She asked him slowly, "Yinka, why did you remove it at 29? Yinka looked confused. "Because it was hot." Beverly placed her hand on her chest like someone receiving a shocking diagnosis. "You could not wait one more second?" Yinka laughed because he thought it was a joke. "Babe, heat is heat. I don't need the microwave to clap for me." See, that laughter pained Beverly because she was not joking at all. She took a deep breath and spoke in a slow, dramatic voice. "This is exactly my problem. Yinka, you never complete things you start. You always leave things hanging. You avoid closure. closure. You fear finality. Yinka blinked again. Babe, it's just you. Oh. Beverly shook her head. It is not you. It is the mentality. Yinka rubbed his head. Beverly, please. Beverly raised her hand. No, you please. If you cannot wait for the microwave to hit 0, how will you wait for marriage to hit 10 years? How will you wait for business to grow? How will you wait for your dreams? How will you wait for me? Yinka looked like someone listening to a sermon in the wrong church. Beverly, what is the connection? She replied. Everything is connected. Yinka wanted to laugh, but he sensed danger. He held her shoulders gently and said, Baby, I love you, but this is not that deep. Beverly stepped back. This is extremely deep, Yinka. Deeper than stew, deeper than microwave, deeper than everything. Yinka exhaled heavily and muttered, Hey, God, I beg. Beverly grabbed her bag, threw in her charger, zipped it aggressively and said, I cannot build a future with a man who fears completion. Yinka followed her to the door saying, Beverly, are you leaving because of microwave? She did not look back. She said, No, I am leaving because you took food out at 29. She entered a taxi with dramatic sadness while Yinka stood at the balcony holding the stew spoon like a newly abandoned husband. Inside the car, Beverly sent 5 long voice notes to her best friend explaining the situation with heavy grammar that made it sound like an academic research. Her best friend replied calmly, Babe, I support you. Anything that disturbs your peace must go. Meanwhile, Yinka called his own friend and explained everything. His friend screamed, Wait, so now microwave caused breakup? Yinka said yes. His friend shouted, As how now? This generation don't spoil finish. That night, Beverly slept peacefully because she believed she had protected her destiny from incomplete men, while Yinka also slept peacefully after eating the same stew because men recover quickly. Beverly woke up the next morning with that sweet feeling women get after they've made a decision that they truly believe was bold and strategic, even if it was powered by small madness. She turned on her phone, stretched like the queen of emotional stability, and smiled because in her mind she had saved her future children from a father who removed stew at 29 seconds. She opened WhatsApp first because WhatsApp was where her best friend lived. Surprisingly, there were already 14 voice notes waiting for her from her best friend, who had digested her microwave reports like the national news and decided to send more fire. The voice notes sounded like a live commentary from an emotional sports stadium. Babe, you are strong, her friend said seriously. You have standards. Completion is important. Even God finished the creation before resting. Beverly nodded at the phone like a pastor listening to the choir. Thank you, she whispered to herself. Her friend continued. If a man rushes stew, he would rush your emotions. If he cannot let the stew finish, how will he allow your goals finish? Beverly clapped once. I said it. After the motivational morning therapy, she bathed, wore her robe, made French toast from a YouTube tutorial, arranged her plates beautifully, and took a picture for her Instagram story with the caption, Protect your peace. On a normal day, this caption would not attract federal attention, but people smell heartbreak from a far distance. They began sending replies like, What happened, sis? Talk to us, sweethearts. Men are the problem. I'm sure about that. Beverly smiled because women understood spiritual warfare without context. Then she moved to Twitter because that's where foolishness breathes freely, and tweeted something vague yet dangerous. Red flags don't always scream. Sometimes they beep once. This kind of tweet is the type that causes people to start dragging their exes without even knowing why. Within minutes, quote tweets began flying. Quote 1, if you've dated a man who doesn't wait for his task to get completed, I am so sorry, queen. Quote 2, it is the avoidance of closure for me. Quote 3, food is food. No, sir. Discipline is discipline. At this point, Beverly felt seen, understood, and valued. She did not mention microwave, neither did she mention Yinka. She just tweeted without names, and unfortunately for different types of people, this was enough fuel. When she entered TikTok, she found her peace there. She believed she could watch people making pancakes and dancing without trouble. But peace is never permanent for someone with a free Wi-Fi and strong opinions. Her friend, the same one that supported her breakup, decided to post a TikTok video. She sat in front of her ring light with a bonnet on, a serious face, and said, "Story time! My friend just broke up with her boyfriend because of microwave. Before you judge, hear me out." Beverly screamed from her apartment, "No, no, no, take it down!" But the internet never allows good intentions to arrive quickly. In the TikTok video, her friend explained everything with passion, as if she was delivering a TED talk for women's liberation. She finished with, "Ladies, watch out for men who remove things at 29 seconds. They fear closure, they fear commitment, they fear responsibility. Protect your hearts." The video blew up before Beverly could sprint to the comment section. Within 2 hours of posting it, it had 12,000 likes, 3,000 comments, 200 duets, and 500 stitches. As expected, several men were crying in the comment section. One man commented, "So, still now determines marriage? Chai, what a time to be single." Another man said, "I removed mine at 28 seconds last week. Am I a danger to the society?" Women joined the battle also. "Wait, she's right. My ex used to do this. That man was useless." When someone shows you who they are through the microwave, believe them. To be honest, discipline starts in the kitchen. Kai, the internet was vibrating. Meanwhile, Yinka was living his normal life like a man who had no idea he had become a symbol of unfinished business. He woke up, brushed his teeth, ate leftover shawarma, and watched football highlights. All of a sudden, his friend Wale called him, screaming like a siren, "Guy, you don't dey trend." Yinka frowned. "Trend where? I didn't do anything." Wale sent him the TikTok link. Yinka watched it for 2 seconds, paused the video, stood up, walked around the room, sat down again, pressed play. Paused the video again, rubbed his face, pressed play again, and paused it again. He called Wale back. "Is this my destiny? I just want stew. I did not commit any crime." Wale replied, "Bro, you would have just waited for zero. Now see your life." Twitter soon discovered the TikTok video and they carried the madness to a higher altitude. Someone tweeted, "If you are dating a man who removes food at 29 seconds, run oh!" The men replied immediately. One of them said, "We remove based on heat levels. This is not about psychology, it is temperature." The women replied, "Heat levels or fear of emotional accountability." Arguments spread like hunger and different hashtags started. Hashtag team closure, hashtag team heat is heat, hashtag 29 seconds behavior. Soon, memes arrived. Someone edited a meme of Captain America waiting patiently till the microwave hits zero with the caption, "A real man waits." There was another meme of a man removing food at 29 seconds with haunted eyes and the caption, "No closure, no peace." Beverly watched all this and felt a strange mixture of pride and fear. She whispered, "It's not about the microwave, they don't get it." But she loved the attention small sha, because who doesn't? By evening, journalists entered the chat. A small blog posted the headline, "Abuja lady dumps boyfriend over microwave habits. Is this the new red flag?" Beverly screamed into her pillow, "Why are people unserious in this country?" But she retweeted it anyway. Her aunt even called from Enugu, "My daughter, did somebody beat you?" Beverly replied, "No auntie, microwave." Her aunt paused for 10 seconds and then said, "Is that the name of the boy?" Beverly sighed, "No auntie, like actual microwave." Her aunt coughed, "Let me call you back." Meanwhile, Yinka kept receiving calls from friends asking the same thing. Bro, you warmed stew and removed it at 29? Is that true? Guy, you no get patience. Did she at least eat the stew? Yinka finally snapped and shouted, "Heat is heat. The stew was hot. Why must numbers determine destiny?" Everybody kept quiet because when a calm man shouts, it is over. That night, Beverly tried to sleep, but her TikTok kept vibrating like an injured cricket. More videos emerged. One girl said, "As someone who studied psychology, removing food early shows avoidance patterns. Beverly saved that one for later." Another girl said, "Low battery behavior, no recharge, no finish, no commitment." Beverly screenshotted that one also. Then one neutral girl said, "Or maybe he was just hungry. Abeg shift." Beverly blocked her. By evening, the situation had escalated beyond stew and microwave. It had become a deep philosophical debate online about patience, emotional maturity, closure, and the mysterious behavior of 29 seconds. Yinka sat in his living room watching football quietly, unaware that half the internet was analyzing his thermal decision-making skills. Beverly lay on her bed, scrolling through the chaos and whispering to herself, "This world is crazy, but at least they understand me small." By the third day of the microwave saga, some human beings had dropped their senses and picked sides like political parties. Newspapers were dropping articles on it. Meme pages were printing shirts. Therapists were making TikTok videos, and Beverly had become an unofficial ambassador of women who want completion. But behind all this noise, there was one problem. Beverly was getting lonely. She sat on her bed eating cereal at noon, scrolling through the comments where strangers defended her loudly, but nobody asked how she was actually doing. Her phone vibrated non-stop, but there was no single "Are you okay?" inside the vibration. Only "Queen, you ate," "Closure gang," and "Send a picture of the microwave." It felt like emotional hunger at this point. Meanwhile, Yinka was discovering emotional pain disguised as comedy. His friends formed a small intervention group in his living room. Wale sat on one chair like the chairman, while two other guys sat like the board members judging a company. "Guy," Wale began with a serious voice, "let's talk as men. This matter has grown horns, but why did you really remove it at 29? Yinka rolled his eyes. "For the last time, it was hot. I am not a criminal now." Another friend asked, "But why 29? Why not 30 or 0? Yinka spread his arms dramatically. "Because I don't count seconds when I am hungry. I don't watch the microwave like Nollywood films." They all nodded like a therapy group, taking notes in their minds. Suddenly, Wale's phone pinged. He checked Twitter and screamed, "Guy, they are selling microwave gang t-shirts." Everybody rushed to look. There it was, a shirt printed boldly with "Heat is heat" on the front and hashtag 29 seconds boys on the back. Yinka held his head in his hands. Beverly watched the chaos online and started laughing, then crying, then laughing again because her emotions didn't know which direction to face. Her best friend called her on video chats. "Babe, how are you really?" Beverly hesitated because she herself didn't know. She tried to answer strong. "I am fine. I chose peace. At least God did not remove me at 29 too. I am complete." Her friend nodded. "That is the spirit, babe. God finished creation before he rested." Beverly stared at the ceiling and whispered, "True." That night, she went live on Instagram. Over 4,000 people joined within minutes. Beverly cleared her throat like a public speaker and began, "It's not about the microwave. It's about completion. If my man cannot complete the microwave countdown, can he complete a relationship commitment?" Comments flooded in immediately. Team Heat wrote, "Sis, some of us remove at 15. Please don't hate us." Team Closure dropped theirs. "I support this queen. We need men who finish things." Team Neutral commented, "Girl, you are confusing us." Then, midlife, someone commented, but everybody wait oh, the microwave boy is better than my ex who didn't even buy a microwave. Beverly was overwhelmed and ended the life. As days passed, the internet started doing what the internet always does, digging deeper. One therapist on TikTok explained using serious jargon. When someone interrupts the microwave cycle, it may indicate impulsivity, difficulty with delayed gratification, or micro-avoidance behaviors. Beverly screenshot that one immediately, printed it in her head, and used it like a scripture. However, the real turning point came when Beverly saw a viral tweet from someone who knew nothing about her. Some breakups are not about microwave, but about lack of emotional safety. That one hit her chest. She suddenly remembered all the small things she didn't say. How she hated that Yinka laughed during serious conversations. How she always felt rushed. How she always felt like the dramatic one. She realized the microwave was not the root of the problem. It was just a symptom. The root was fear of not being taken seriously. For the first time since the breakup, Beverly felt hot, sincere tears roll down. She covered her face and whispered, "I didn't want stew. I wanted understanding." She wiped her face with tissue paper, blew her nose loudly, then looked at the tweets again. Meanwhile, Yinka had switched off social media entirely and went to play football with his guys to get his mind off being the microwave boy. But even on the pitch, they shouted, "Pass the ball, don't pass it at 29. Yinka glared and kicked the ball like revenge. That night, he finally messaged Beverly for the first time since their breakup. "Can we talk?" Beverly stared at the message as if it was a bomb. She didn't reply. She placed the phone upside down and stared at the ceiling again. Her chest was beating like a generator. She wanted closure, but a real one this time. Not microwave closure, human closure. Finally, she typed, "Not today, soon." The internet continued fighting over stew and psychology, but Beverly and Yinka moved into a chapter that no hashtag could properly handle. They were going to trash out their actual feelings because that was the beginning of self-awareness. 3 weeks later, Beverly finally agreed to meet Yinka at a small cafe that sold overpriced pancakes and iced coffee. She arrived early because she needed emotional power. She wore simple clothes without makeup. Her heart bounced like a football inside her chest. Yinka arrived 10 minutes late, holding a small gift box. Beverly rolled her eyes at the box because she didn't want gifts. She wanted accountability, but she didn't say anything. They sat down in silence for a few seconds until Yinka coughed and said, "First, I am sorry you felt dismissed. It wasn't funny. I know you take small things seriously because small things matter to you." Beverly blinked slowly. She didn't expect that level of understanding. She whispered, "It wasn't about the stew." Yinka nodded. "I know, and it wasn't about the microwave either. I just didn't see how it hurts you." Beverly swallowed hard. "And I didn't know how to tell you without shouting." Yinka smiled sadly. "We are both unserious people pretending to be serious." They both laughed a tiny laugh. Then Beverly said, "When I saw you remove it at 29, I felt like you didn't care about finishing things. I have seen too many unfinished things in my life. Friendships, school projects, promises, even my dad." She paused because her voice cracked. Yinka's eyes softened. "I didn't know that," he said. "You didn't ask," she replied. He nodded slowly. "And I didn't create space for you to say it." Yinka pushed the gift box towards her. She opened it slowly, expecting to see maybe a necklace or perfume, but inside was a small digital timer labeled "For completion only." Beverly stared at it, looked up at him, and burst out laughing until she wiped tears from her eyes. "You are still stupid," she said. "Yes, but now I am stupid with awareness," he replied. They did not jump back into the relationship immediately. They did not hug passionately or kiss in the rain like in the movies. They just finished their pancakes and talked about therapy, boundaries, and communication skills. For the first time, they actually talked like adults. Months later, the entire microwave saga became a TikTok trend, but Beverly did not defend herself anymore. When people asked, she simply wrote, "Sometimes it's not about the microwave. Sometimes it's about fear." Yinka commented under one viral post, "Heat is heat, but communication is key." Someone asked, "Did you guys end up together?" Yinka replied, "We ended up wiser." Beverly liked the comments and wrote, "Closure achieved without the microwave." Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. Give the story a thumbs up and share the story out with your loved ones. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye.